Hey Pisces. Ooh, I was about to say Happy New Year. Happy Capricorn season. Looks like a powerful month. We are a few days after Jupiter went direct in your sign. So, a lot of expansion. Some of you might be thinking about family, longevity, where you want to put your energy, what you want your family to look like, how you want to be positioned in time for that. And there are some of you that are thinking about different forms of fertility. Some of you are really thinking about what it looks like to be fulfilled in ways of not only family and home life, but how you have and bring that to your job, to wherever it is that you spend time, especially wherever you're also most dominant too. That's a big thing with this Queen of Wands. The Hermit and the Six of Pentacles. This also has you seeing you might be reflecting or coming into a reflection period too. Like, this can happen to a lot of signs. And if you think of the water, even like the vastness of the water, different layers, different levels, different elevation, you know, everything, temperature. You here are also reflecting on where you may have not allowed yourself to have the things that you want in the future, where you may not have those things. Coming out of Sagittarius season into Capricorn season very much can put that into perspective. And the most important thing is, more than ever, is that you know that wherever you're seeing the light right now is just showing you where you're choosing to perceive, what you're choosing to perceive. You need to understand that also in this time of great expansion comes a contraction somewhere. You can call it a sacrifice, you can call it discipline. I prefer to call it discipline. And what being open and wanting for yourself for the future and being honest with yourself about it, that's actually allowing what you didn't allow yourself to have, or maybe what you didn't know you could have. You're allowing that to heal, essentially, because you're giving yourself that opportunity, you're giving yourself the chance to have something different or have something that you actually really want and desire. And that's also what this time can feel like. Not just about resolutions, but like what coming out of a year like last year has been, especially for someone like you who feels so much and sometimes doesn't always know where to put that, you know, like what do you do with all of that? Nine of Swords, Four of Wands, and then Seven of Wands. Well, you're coming out of a period of reflection about what the structure looks like for yourself, what you want it to look like, especially if you have a family or want a family or are wanting to grow this family. Jupiter and Pisces is a great time for that. It's a great time for you to really allow yourself to control where you can. This month, Cardinal Earth will always show you where in your physical reality where you can control or where you have the lack of control, where you need to let go of control. There's many different varieties of this control. And so what you can control right now is how much you want to do. This is a lot of action. Like after this contemplation, after a reflection period, there's this action-oriented part of you that really comes out and into play. Bottom of the deck, Six of Wands. That is really good for you. I think it's going to help this question you've been having for a really long time, whether you've vocalized it or if I've even vocalized it or if we've even talked about it here or wherever in your life. There's a question that you've been asking yourself, and it has to do with stability. It has to do with what that looks like, what grounded, strong, understanding, yet knows how to take the steps. It knows how to take the proper moves. There's something very secure that's coming up for you right now, a sense of security, not only with your outer world, but your inner world. See how my voice changed even? There's even probably a couple of moments that you have with yourself about what does security look like? What is stability? What are these values? That's also Venus and Capricorn very much. It's so interesting because it's so much of a vast reading, but there's also a structure to it. So that's kind of what's happening for you. When you really focus all of the energy that you have left over from whatever else you do into something that you really believe in, you really take control of, and you're really insightful about, and you're choosing to still learn as you go, there's so much at your fingertips. The only thing that can get in your way is not turning reflection into something harmful instead of helpful. That's like the best question I always come back to. Is this helpful or harmful? Because if it's not being helpful, then what's the point of reflecting at this moment? Sometimes you need to feel those things, but you don't have to do that just because there's a change that seeing this growing, whether it's in your home life or you're seeing everything kind of grow as you fertilize and as you go after these things, it'd be really important for you to write things down, especially around the new moon in Capricorn. The moons, of course, are always important, but at that time, I think you'll feel as clear as you can feel about everything that you've reflected upon and understood, things that have stopped you in your mind from moving forward in certain places, maybe externally, or even and I think the more that what this is showing from the inside outside is that the more that you give yourself that opportunity and that chance to have something different, to have something you may have always wanted but never again gave yourself the choice. Now that you are, things are changing, and you might feel a shedding in your emotions. You might go through an emotional release. It could be a couple of days, and you might not understand in that moment, but what is happening is that you're changing and you're seeing how you can make those steps for the security, because that's the question that's been coming up. Without you, it's like you've been dancing around it, and now you're finally at it. And yeah, I like that I waited to do this. I was not feeling well. I had a migraine. Bottom of the deck. There is so much in store this year, and you will have to also control your hunger, if you know what I mean. So maybe that's the control for you, is controlling your hunger. And I'm sorry if that triggers anyone in a physical way. I didn't mean it like that. It was very metaphorical, but for some of you it could be physical, and that could be something you're working on, and I totally respect that. Yeah, it's more about disciplined hunger. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, Pisces, the second part of the readings will now only be on Patreon. The link for that will be below this reading here on YouTube. And thank you for supporting me thus far. I hope you have a great New Year's and experience of a Capricorn season. And I'll see you in Aquarius season, and then it's your season.